Good morning and welcome to our KTA Breaking News, today with Christian Liko
and Teresa Rasoka.
A few hours ago, Russian military base in Krize, northern Abkhazia, reported death of 7 Russian soldiers and 1 civilian. According to witnesses, these explosions have been heard just few minutes after each other from different parts of the base. That suggests it was not an accident, but merely a coordinated attack.
Information Telegraph Agency of Russia wrote a statement claiming it was a terrorist attack conducted by Georgians from region of Svaneti, bordering with Abkhazia just about 15 kilometers far. Status of Abkhazia is problematic ever since 1993, when Georgian civil war ended. These 3 years of heavy fighting caused ethnic cleansing of Georgian majority, and 200,000 refugees fled, causing radical changes in ethnical composition of the region. These clashes ended by de facto secession from Georgia. Since then, Russian peacekeeping forces have been present in the area, amounting over 3,000 soldiers and 1,000 Federal Security Service officers.
The situation worsened in 2008 after a short yet bloody war in South Ossetia, after which Russia recognized Abkhazia and South Ossetia as independent states. Tension in that region is omnipresent, but such an attack has not been seen for a long time.
Now to our special reporter in Georgia. Vasil Zavshivili, how is the real situation?
Yes, hello. Russian agency claimed that the attack came from Georgians traced to the region of Svaneti, and local Russian authorities confirmed this premise. They also called for backup from Guadeta and Sukhumi bases, because the contingent in Krize is quite small. However, we cannot say the same about the reinforcements that are about to arrive in few hours, because they count up to 3,000 men and military equipment, and it is even possible that Kremlin will send in more troops from inside of Russia. Due to situation in Ukraine, they are in combat readiness and can be called in a matter of just hours. It is unclear how the situation will turn out, but military strength of Georgia can hardly be compared to Russian capabilities.
Okay, and now directly to Krize, to our reporter, Dmitry Prasodyev. Do you hear us?
Yes, I'm right here near the base, in a village almost abandoned after the Russian invasion. I've spoken to a witness confirming he has heard explosions and seen dead bodies. But the numbers are not confirmed yet. What he has confirmed is that at least one person is a civilian, his uncle. The tension rose in the recent months because the Russians established more military checkpoints deep inside Abkhazia, that means in Georgian territory. These were security measures taken to protect the borders during the Olympic Games held in Sochi, not far from Abkhazia. But the Olympics are over and checkpoints are still here, representing the growing influence of Russia.
Who is responsible for the attacks?
The explosions might really be work of extremists from Georgia, resisting the Russian presence in Abkhazia. Georgia, together with most part of the world, still sees Abkhazia as its own territory and Russian presence as an occupation. The rest of the world agrees, as the only countries who recognize Abkhazia as a sovereign state are Venezuela, Nicaragua, Tuvalu, Vanuatu, and Nauru. But although international recognition is not wide, in shape of Russia, it does not matter that much. Inhabitants of Abkhazia are concerned about the near future, but not even half as concerned as the Georgians, who are aware of military supremacy of the Russians.
Do you think that we may witness armed conflict between Russia and Georgia?
Well, it would not be for the first time, and seeing the mobilization of forces, it is hard to predict. Minister of Foreign Affairs of Russia, Sergei Lavrov, delivered a speech just a few minutes ago, and the first impression is not very optimistic. Hear the speech for yourself. For KTA, Dmitry Prasodyev.
We have witnessed grave violation of current status quo. Death of any human being is tragedy and must be elucidated. We will do what it takes to find the terrorists responsible for the attacks and bring them to justice. Team of our experts already made an analysis of the bombing site and they confirmed that explosive devices were set on the base. The investigation and interviews then lead without any doubts to the region of Svaneti, where we are convinced that terrorists are currently hiding. We call upon immediate and resolute action from the Georgian government. If they do not fulfill their duty, we are prepared to secure lives of our soldiers and citizens by any means necessary, because the Russian government is responsible for lives of its citizens.
So that was the speech of Sergei Lavrov. We want to thank our reporter Dmitry Prasodyev. Stay safe. And Russian side is of course not the only one to issue a statement. Georgian President Georgy Margelashvili issued a statement as well just a few minutes ago.
We are deeply sorry for loss of all lives, and we promise to do whatever is in our capabilities to find the truth, and if they really were Georgian attackers, we will find them and bring them to a court of justice in Tbilisi. However, we call upon cooperation on the investigation so that objective justice can be found. Threats issued by Russian Minister Lavrov will not frighten the proud nation of Georgia. For any military actions conducted by Russia in the region of Svaneti, countermeasure will be taken by Georgia and its allies immediately. Georgia is a strong ally of NATO, and we believe that NATO will prove to be a strong partner to Georgia. We call upon the neighbor countries to consider the current situation and speak up to help us secure our territorial integrity and sovereignty. The message must be clear. We hope to restrain from any violence and breach of international law, but we are ready to defend ourselves.
And now we have the pleasure of having Mr. Jakob Limper from the AMO. Welcome. We are witnessing a situation that might be crucial for stability in the region of Caucasus. What do you think are the Russian intentions?
Well, to be honest, it is not clear. There might be some hidden motivations, but quite frankly, let's look at the facts. Region of Svaneti is mountainous, there are not any huge stockpiles of natural resources, there is almost no infrastructure. Strategically, the importance of the region itself is not very big. Using these optics, it is not probable that Russia would invade the region of Svaneti and is maybe just trying to intimidate the Georgians. On the other hand, the region is located in between of South Ossetia and Abkhazia, and we may think of a possible attempt to reconnect these two separatist regions. But now it is unclear whether Russian troops will cross the borders. If they do, it will without doubt be a severe breach of the international law.
If the Russians cross the border, is there a chance for Georgia to defend itself?
Hardly. Georgian military power is incomparable to Russian, but there is a fact we must bear in mind. Georgia has tight relations with NATO, even though Georgia has not been offered the membership action plan yet. Cooperation has been fruitful until now, and the North Atlantic Council could be able to support the resolution of possible conflict. Georgia was assured many times that it will be accepted to NATO, and this statement was reaffirmed several times. Georgia is a member of Partnership for Peace program, largest non-NATO contributor in Afghanistan, large contributor in Kosovo. Georgia invested a lot in NATO, and it is up to the Council how they will face the Russian threat.
Thank you, Mr. Limper. The situation is real complex, and all decisions will be hard to make, that's for sure.